Ting. Swadikap. Good evening. Dear Director General Dr. Prasert, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SPE Thailand technical meeting in February. My name is Panit Jesadawaranon. I'm the SPE Vice Technical Program, and I'm honored today. Especially we have Dr. Prasert with us tonight. Thank you very much for joining our event. And we're looking forward to hear an interesting story which we might not be very familiar with, but we will try to understand. So again, our mission for SPE, our mission here is trying to share and learn, and hopefully our knowledge that we share today will keep our country energized and sustainable. And tonight is another opportunity for us to have a sharing information across the company. Agenda for today, we start with section announcement, and then following by the presentation from Dr. Prasert. And then we have Q&A, closing remark, and then lucky draw at the end. So please stay tuned until the end. Okay, start with the numbers. Hopefully you're still awake. So for the SPE membership, we have 496 total members, 197 from student members from 4 chapters, Chulalongkorn University, Suranari University, Prenop Songkhla University, and Chiang Mai University. Okay, we have new members, join 26 members, which is good news. Unfortunately, we have 127 labs. So all of you, if you haven't continue or renew your membership, please do so. Hopefully we can go back to 700 again. SPE Thailand is still the largest professional oil industry organization where you can meet and create in this relaxing environment. On the SPE membership, I'm not going to go through the benefit, but I would say that as mentioned, we are very active. We have monthly meeting, we have SPE and P Award. We also have several young professional events. So if you're joining SPE Thailand, then you would be up to date with all these upcoming events. And of course, we can meet and greet everyone here. Obviously, we could not have this event without our generous sponsor. So may I have a round of applause for our sponsor,ครับ. Seems that we have one more every month, which is a very good sign. Okay, without further ado, may I have Kun Chia, our Vice Technical Chairperson, to give a speaker introduction,ครับ.สวัสดีครับ My boss is not here today, so.
My boss is not here. Yeah. Okay, good evening, Sawadikap. My name is Jia. I'm a Program Vice Chair for SPE Thailand section. So today we are honored to have Dr. Prasert Sinsukprasert joining us today to give his talk. Dr. Prasert graduated from Bachelor's of Electrical Engineering from Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. And upon completing his bachelor's degree, he was awarded Thai government scholarship to pursue his degree overseas, where he completed the master's degree in energy conservation from George Washington University, USA, followed by a doctorate degree from in energy management and policy from University of Pennsylvania, USA. Upon graduation, he worked as a researcher at World Bank. Armed with accumulated expertise and knowledge in the energy field, he decided to return to his homeland, Thailand, to serve the government's department, which is the Ministry of Energy. The lifelong journey, which started in 1996 throughout his career, brings Dr. Prasert to various departments within Department of Alternative Energy Development and Efficiency. Dr. Prasert started as an engineer at the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Divisions. In 2011, he was promoted to the Director of Planning Division. Later, he moved to the International Energy Corporation's Office, Ministry of Energy, as the Executive Director. During the period of 2014 to 2021, Dr. Prasert was promoted to a number of positions, namely Deputy Director General for Energy Policy and Planning Office, Inspector General, Office of the Permanent Secretary, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Office of the Permanent Secretary. From October 2020 until to date, Dr. Prasert is currently assuming the positions of Director General of the Department of Alternative Energy Development and Efficiency. Although Dr. Prasert has already obtained his doctorate degree, his passion and busy routine, he also pursues quite a lot of skill sets and development through various programs, namely Executive Education Program from Capital Market Academy, Senior Executive Fellow from Harvard University at Boston, Massachusetts, US, National Defense College Program, Top Executive Program in Commerce and Trade from University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce. Besides his current positions at DEDE, Dr. Prasert is also the Board of Directors at Thailand Greenhouse Gas Management Organization, TGO, and PTT Public Company. Without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Prasert on stage to share his insights on today's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for the great introduction. I almost forgot how I became Director General. So mostly it's true. Well, it's an honor to be here. I'm very glad to have this opportunity to talk, even though we kind of in a different sector, because I'm, in the promoting this renewable energy and energy efficiency. So it's another part of energy, but it's something that, well, actually, I want to say in the future, but actually it's already now. Things that I want to share today would be relating to what is happening in terms of renewable energy policy in Thailand, and also what that I would foresee in the years to come. So, well, actually, my staff making this PowerPoint, so I have to look at what they put up in. Well, I think first of all, the energy situation in Thailand, we are consuming about 200,000 gigawatt hour, and also about 100 million liter of oil per day. So that's quite a lot. So the energy mix in Thailand, if you're talking about overall, mostly we still rely on fossil fuels, transportation for oil, and also for the power sector, we still relying, depends like 60 to 70% of natural gas. Okay, but that is something that we are trying to change to become more low carbon, and we're having this goal to become the carbon neutral in 2050. Back, I would say like 20 years, when I started joining this government entity, I remember the number that we rely on renewable about 0.5%. Okay, that was the first time that we have the number, and then we plan on the long-term energy plan. And at that time, it was like 8% for the next 15 years and so forth. And it keeps going up and going up. Our goal increase every year. Right now, we have about 24% of renewable in the electricity mix. Well, you might see some reports saying 15, 14. So it's the 14% is not including hydro. Okay, large hydro of EGAT. Okay, but 24% meaning that we including the large hydro and also the hydro from Laos that we purchase. Right now we purchase about 6,000 megawatt, and we also actually have a plan. We already have a commitment for another 2,000 megawatt, and actually the plan is to go up to like 13,000 megawatt of the power capacity that we're going to purchase from Laos. So that would be an area if you're interested in electricity. In terms of energy intensity, this is how we measure the efficiency of our system, the energy that we consume versus the GDP. Okay, so we have that as a baht per, let's say, KTOE per baht or per 1,000 baht. So the energy use versus the income, and we keep reducing that number for the past 15, 20 years. One of the things is, more technologies coming up, new technologies. People are more aware of electricity, and we have a lot of promotional programs. We are very lucky, in Thailand, very lucky that we have the regulation in place for the Energy Conservation Promotion Act, and also we have this financially supporting from the Energy Conservation Promotion Fund. We have a nickname of ENCON Fund. Okay, so we have that together to have a regulation and also have some financial support. So that's how we promote the energy efficiency. Okay, mostly for the large industries, large buildings, and so forth. Now we are developing a new regulation on the building energy codes, and it's actually taking effect just last month. So it's coming along. So we be able to reduce that energy intensity about 18%, I believe. Yeah, 18% since 2010. Okay. And now electric vehicle is still starting stage, but it's very, very promising now. We used to some number like 1,000, 2,000 EVs for the past years, but last year alone, with all this promotion, the cash rebate and everything, we saw the number like 40,000 of reservation. But the car sale is about 8,000 because the automobiles industry cannot deliver the cars. Okay, but the purchase, the order was there. Okay, so we expecting this another 30,000 come along this year. So we can see this jump for the number of the vehicles, electric vehicles, and also the number of the charging stations. Also in terms of like how many? 2,000 already, 2,500 already, and it's keep going up and up. Because it's easy, is much easier than doing this gas station. Low investment, and you don't have to, manage the tank. You don't have to manage the logistics because electricity come in the transmission line, the distribution line, and you don't have to storage. So that's a very good business as well. In terms of carbon emission now, we emitting, for the country, emitting about 300 million tons per year, and energy sector responsible about 250. Okay, 227, that's 11 months. Okay, so, but that's going, well, it's not really going down, but it's lower than the business as usual. Meaning if we are plotting the line of the BAU case, and we be able to reduce more than 15%. And we are in line of the compliance that we have committed with the United Nations okay, on this COP. And this past year, the Prime Minister have made a pledge, national pledge, to reach the carbon neutrality by 2050. So after discuss with this Ministry of Environment, we believe that we can do it, maybe with international support as well. So we're looking at what are the things that emit carbon or greenhouse gas. Okay, the energy sector, of course, have to reduce down to from 250 to about 90 or 85 million ton emission, and then we need to do the forestation, okay, planting trees, and also the carbon capture and storage, okay, to make it zero, net zero by 2050. Okay, so the energy plan from reducing the 250 million tons to 90 million tons, that's a very challenging goal for us, and that's what we'll share this to you tonight. The 4 pillars that we have to do is that we have to increase our energy efficiency. Okay, we used to have a goal of 30%. Right now we reach about 18%. Okay, we have a goal to reach 30% by 2030. But to reach this carbon neutrality, we have to go down to 40%. That means we use a lot less energy to earn or to generate the income. Okay. Secondly, we need to shift our transportation energy from oil to electricity, and that's why you see many promotion programs, measures, tax incentive on the car itself and on the battery manufacturers. So to bring the business, to bring the automakers to Thailand, and gaining the consumer confidence that there are going to be a lot of charging stations everywhere. Okay, now it's coming along. So once we change from oil to electricity in transportation sector, now in our power sector, we have to be very clean. We could not use 60% of natural gas. So it have to be reduced down to, well, in the plan, it said have to be renewable by more than 50%. But actually, when we run the model, 50% is not enough. It have to be something like 70%, 80%. Okay. So if we do 70%, that means we have to plant more trees. If we do 80%, then we plant less tree. But I think probably the good number would be something like 80% of renewables by the year 2050. That means there are going to be a lot of renewable energy promotion program. You probably have heard, if you're interested in renewable energy, you probably have heard that we are now in the process of tendering 5,000 megawatt of solar power, solar farms and wind farms. Right now in the process of selection. So that's the first step to show that we are going forward to this carbon neutrality pathway. When we also have some other programs that's coming along, biomass, biogas, waste to energy, both municipal waste and industrial waste, you name it. So we try to get the domestic renewable, green, clean resource to our energy mix as much as possible. So the last but not least, the pillar that we need to do is to make sure that everything going to be okay, the security, the infrastructure, digitalization, modernize the grid system so that we be able to use, or to integrate the renewable energy into the grid. We have all this digital control to make sure that everything would go smoothly, and also we decentralize the power system. Okay, we used to have like a big power plant, 2,000 megawatt, 1,000 megawatt, and then we use the transmission to distribute all this power to urban and rural areas. But now we try to have this distributed generation system, okay, community level, maybe 3 to 10 megawatt, okay. Solar farms, maybe 50 to 100 megawatt, okay, all over the country. So we have this distribution system to make sure that electricity is served 24 hours, 7 days a week. So that would need more investment in the transmission line, the distribution line, and energy storage for security, and also all this control system, digital, from the supply side, the generation side, okay, the transmission, and also in the consumer side. On this energy efficiency plan, like I said, we want to go down to 40%. So, you can have this PowerPoint. You have the slide. You have the number. So we use all the figures from National Economic and Social Development Board. The growth, percentage growth of GDP of Thailand, and everything, predicting if we stay the same way, we going to use up to like 200,000 KTOE per year. But to get to this target of 40%, we have to reduce to 121,000. So this 80,000 KTOE we have to reduce. Okay. And we actually, in the detail, we're looking at from the end use perspective. From industry, what kind of technology that could be used, the applicability, the market acceptability, to see what would be the possible or potential savings of this sector from industry, business, resident, agriculture, and transportation. Okay, so when we look at the technology, and we also develop some mechanisms to deliver those, to promoting those technologies. BEC is one of them, the Building Energy Code, that we would not allow inefficient buildings to be built in Thailand. Okay, so the new building have to be comply with the energy codes. Okay, I'm not gonna lay out what are the codes today. You can find out from my website, my department website. But it's not that difficult, but it's not that easy. So you have to be a bit, let's say, creative, to reduce the, let's say, the power for lighting, the power for air conditioning, or you could use the envelopes, the building envelopes, the glass, the windows, how to limit the heat transfer from the outside, or some control system, the AOT, to use in terms of the pumps, the air condition, or the elevators, all those things. So if you combine this kind of knowledge, it would be very easy to pass the building energy codes. And now it has been effective since last month. Okay, the standard and labeling, I think you have seen this for many years. We promoting this number 5 label. You can see it on the air conditioning, refrigerators, but there are a lot of products that we actually put the labels on. You probably don't know it if you don't use it, like motors, or even the LPG oven, rice cookers, hot water, so things like that, or even the construction materials still have this level 5, but if not, so that would be giving the information to the customers, what to use, how to reduce your energy consumption, how to reduce your carbon footprint. Okay, I'm sorry. On the agriculture, we are promoting this smart farm. We'll be able to secure some budget to help the farmers to put up these technologies, the drone, using the AI system for fertilization period, when to water, when to cut it down, and using all the waste from the farms, rice husk, or bagasse, or the from pigs or from cows, all these chits that can make the biogas. So these kind of things can help producing renewable energy, and that make it saving from the farmers. Okay, we also have some program thanks to the Energy Conservation Fund, the ENCON Fund, that we providing some subsidy for energy efficiency improvement. For example, like you want to change the chillers, to be high efficient, to be magnetic bearing type, or using the variable speed drive, the inverter for your motor drive, things like that. So we be able to support 20 to 30%. It depend on your investment and depend on, are you SMEs or you are large companies. Okay. So we do support this kind of investment. Okay. On the AEDP, the Alternative Energy Development Plan, we have to go to 70 to 80% share. So this, we're looking at the potentials of all kinds of renewables. And let me see. These are the potentials. But we have to also look at some difficulties in terms of financing and also of the financial returns. But for all the PDP, for all the load, the demand of electricity, of course, it will go up. Now it's 200,000 gigawatt hours per year. And if we transform from oil to EV, from ICE to electric vehicles, that would mean a lot of new demand would come to the power generation. So from 200,000 today, we predict that it's going to be 300,000 or even 400,000 for the next 10-15 years. So this new demand would be met by mostly renewables. Of course, solar would be the cheapest way, but of course it's not reliable. It only comes when the sun is shining, you know. So the day like today or yesterday when we have a lot of rain, so not much sunshine. So that means we have to mix it up with some other things. Wind energy is also have some potentials and also cheap. Well, not as cheap as solar. Solar is only about 2 baht per unit. Wind is about 3 baht. Okay. But wind have some potential, and also it comes during the night. For Thailand, from let's say 6 p.m. until midnight. So that's the time that we have a good wind energy. So that's supporting, very complementary to solar. But again, wind is also very uncertain. So we have to mix it up with some other things like biomass. Biomass is good because, well, it's more or less you can control. You can generate it. It's a little bit seasonal, but if you be able to mix up the energy crops, you'll be able to do a firm contract for power. So, but we have limitation in terms of, you know, the supply of biomass. So we can only go maybe only 8,000, but 8,000 is a very extreme number. So we don't want to go to this high number. And the other things about the biomass is that it's a bit expensive. It's about 4.5 baht per kilowatt hour. So to mix it more, that means we have to pay more for the electricity. So we try to, you know, balance, you know, the least cost, the security, and the environment. Okay, municipal waste is also something good because we can reduce waste at the same time, but the cost of transform waste to energy is also a big one. Is 5 baht per kilowatt hour. Okay, so small hydro and large hydro, we also have limitation in terms of potentials. Okay, so there's not many more left that we could do. Okay, so these are the things that we look at, you know, all the potential, and we look at the demand, and we try to mix it up. Okay, we have this model, and I could not show you what's the final result of the energy mix today, because it has not yet passed all these committees. But I can tell you that you're going to see 70 to 80% of renewables in the portfolio of our power sector. So we'll use, less gas for power supply. But again, it's not that much less, even though we use about 20-30%, but the demand increasing. But for oil, it would be less and less demand in the future. Okay. Some of the program that we're doing now, like I said, we are in the process of tendering about 5,000 megawatt of solar and wind. We have a lot of interest. There were I don't know how many projects, but I can say that it's about 4 times more than we expect. So we have about 20,000 megawatt of proposals. You know, now we already announced, you know, the first round, second round, and we have the announcement of the final winners. Maybe in this month or next month. Okay, so that is very exciting. at least in the stock market. Right? So that is something that we in the process. Another thing that in the process is community power plant. Okay. This is a small one, only 150 megawatts. And we only allow the very small power producers from 3 to 6 megawatt only. But this would generate a lot of revenues, a lot of income for the rural people, the community people, because we have many criteria, like the power plants have to buy the energy crops from the community people surrounding this power plant. Okay, so 80%, at least 80%, have to be bought from the surrounding communities. So that would generate the income, and also the people surrounded would be the owner, at least 10% of ownership. So they would get the dividends from the profit of the power plants. And of course, there would be the electricity fund from the power plant. So there are a lot of benefits to these people in the rural areas. So that is something that we try to distribute wealth, from this energy business, from the big companies to the smaller people. Okay. Right now we're in the pilot program. We only tender 150 megawatts. We already have 43 winners awarded the PPA. Now it's the process of signing the PPA, and they will start building this month. We also have this solar rooftop promotion. Of course, we try to tone down the regulation. All the permits have to be easier, streamline a lot of things. And we also buy back the excess electricity from the solar rooftops. Okay. But we promote the ideas of putting the solar rooftop for your own use, and that's more profitable for the consumers, because instead of paying 5 baht per kilowatt hour, you install the solar rooftop. It's only about 2 baht per kilowatt hour. But if you're not home, or your factory is not open on Sunday, you'll be able to sell back this excess electricity to the grid. Okay. The price, you can say it's not very attractive, but at least you get something from what you're not using. Okay. So that is something that we do. And also the in terms of the heat, and that is something that a bit more difficult. Now a lot of factories use natural gas, coal, or fuel oils for heating purposes. But right now there are a lot of interest to use biomass. And we try to develop the industry of this biomass, the wood pellets, and also having the contract farming with the farmers to grow energy crops and sell these energy crops to the wood pellet factories. So these are the things that, and we have a little bit of money to be able to promote this sort of program. And also we also help the small and medium size entrepreneurs if they want to change their equipment, say the boiler, the furnace, so that they be able to use the biomass instead of fuel oils or LPG or natural gas. So we do have some financial support for this kind of program. So I think that's what I prepare to share with you today. And another thing that I like to say is it's now very important. I think you all know, you all have heard about all this carbon neutrality pathway, the COP, the commitment, the pledge, carbon neutral, net zero. You may say, well, are they gonna really do it? I would say yes. After meeting with many big companies, and all these tech companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and the company from Europe and Japan, Toyota, they all have this carbon neutrality goals, and they're very serious about it. So that means whatever they use, whatever they consume, they have to look at. If they want to invest in Thailand, they have to look at what are the mixes of the fuels for power generation. So the lower carbon footprint, the happier, or the more likely that they would come to invest in Thailand. And I think you all experienced the extreme weather for the past years, many flooding, heat wave, solar voltaic. So many things have been very unusual, weather-wise, and it keep getting more serious and getting more often. So, and this is why many government, many companies, big companies, try to have the lower carbon footprint or even carbon neutrality. Some company even talking about carbon negative, So this is something that really the global trend now that I think everybody have to adjust. Everybody have to try to survive. Of course, you are mostly from oil and gas company. I think you all have the plan. I'm the board of PTT, and also I used to be the board of Thai Oil and also Banja. They're all petroleum company based, but they all have a plan to diversify, to go to the new business, to have this a new technology. So diversify your business, the investment of products, would be a good idea. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Prasert, to give us the. Thank you very much, Dr. Prasert, for giving us the very insightful on the alternative energy, and glad to hear that we still use some gas in the future. So hopefully we still have something to do in the near term. May I have a question from the floor?
Hello? Okay, I have a comment and a question. So the comment, you actually mentioned towards the end there about the residential rooftop. I have some direct experience about the bureaucracy and paperwork involved in getting those registered and doing the feed-in tariff system. It's a nightmare. So I really do appreciate if that can be streamlined. The other is the smart meters. You didn't mention that, but here in Thailand, all of them are the old-fashioned. So there's a lot of updates needed for the grid system to make it a smart system, right? Which is very important. That was the comment, so there's no question there. But the question was, on your list you mentioned geothermal, but that was very, very small mix there. You didn't mention that, and for us, geothermal is part of actually the subsurface community. So I just wonder what your comments are on how Thailand may adjust that.
I did not mention it because I still have doubt. but my staff have more confidence enough to put this 21 something megawatt into the plan. We have surveyed the geothermal potentials, and it did not come very promising. Technically, yes, but commercially, still not quite. Okay, but if you be able to show some data that you could do it, let's say for 3 or 4 baht per kilowatt hour, then I would be more than happy to put this into the plan. But right now, we're still searching for a good potential site. We have found some, but it's still like 7 baht per kilowatt hour, and it's not making a lot of economic sense to do it. But it's clean, it's a good way. We only be able to identify some site, but the temperature not good enough. So it would be good for spa, for tourists. Maybe we have to dig deeper. We have to have more advanced technologies. But I be open for geothermal. But right now, still very limited in terms of potential commercially. Okay, but I'm aware of your problems to get, because I also get the same problem. I don't want to okay, this is not my job, it's the PEA and MEA work. But it was something difficult, but we talked to them, they also about the grid codes and everything, but we try to make them understand that this is something good for the country. Thank you.
Okay. I have a question on your energy efficiency implementation improvement. So you mentioned about to achieve from like 18% to above 30%, and the target is 40%. So, and you divided into like 4 categories here: the building, the farms, and equipments, the standards for the labeling. So which one that you think that has the most impact to improve your target? Based on these 4 categories.
Or you can go down to, because I'm. Yep.
Okay,
if you look at the total, you can see this is something that this is the target for energy consumption reduction. So you can see industry 12,000, a lot. Okay, because industry, of course, the usual suspect when you talk about the energy consumption. But also you look at the transportation, 17%. I'm sorry, 17,000. That's a lot, because once you transform from ICE to EV, your efficiency improve. So the KTOE consumption, the energy equivalent, you look at the oil to electricity, you consuming like about 1/3 of the energy that you consume today. So this 2/3 reduction account for this 15,000. But this is not the EV alone. In transportation, there also the public transportation promotion, the rail transport, how to deliver all these commodities, rails, or marine transport, also including the plan. So the dual rail policy is also helping, and also all these BTS, MRT, the SkyTrain underground, also helping transport people, in the city of the metropolitan of Bangkok. So transportation and industry. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've got a question about the MEA and PEA retail tariffs. So at the moment, it's heavily structured on selling electricity and only a very little bit on the infrastructure, the distribution system. And I think that's why you only see the PEA and the MEA wanting to buy 10 megawatts of rooftop solar, because it's bad for their business, okay? Because they're not getting enough money from their wires. So the question then is, you know, what plans are there to restructure the tariff so both of those distribution companies get paid properly for their distribution system, so just having the wires there, and then restructure the power tariff, and that will make them more interested in taking rooftop solar.
I'm not sure that was the problems. See, they don't do generation. They do a little bit of generation for PEA, very small. But mostly they buy the electricity from EGAT. And they buy electricity from EGAT about 3.5 baht. So they are better off to get the electricity from the solar rooftop at only 2 baht. So they're not a generation. So wherever they can get, the cheaper the better for them. So it's not I don't think it's a tariff system because they can get a cheaper electricity. But I think it's the concern on the technical, the grid code, more so than the profit. And you talk about 10 megawatt compared to 50,000 megawatt. So very little, very, very small. There would be, I think there would be more reluctant if like the factory install 10 megawatt rooftop for their own use. That would reduce their sales numbers. But I don't think the PEA and MEA could really stop it, because the regulation, the policy that we have, they probably can do a little bit here and there, but I think they understand the trend of the technology. Right now, they actually have a small companies underneath PEA Encom, and also MEA also have the business to install solar rooftops for buildings and industries. So now they diversify their business also.
Well, anyway, when I speak to the MEA, they said their tariffs imbalance. They add on a premium for the electrons, and they're not paid enough for their wires, and so that needs to be restructured.
Okay, I'll take that and I'll see.
Okay, that's what they tell me. Yeah.
I have a comment. I'm from Indonesia.
Yeah.
And Indonesia produces more than half of nickel of the world.
Yep.
And I'm afraid the production is not the clean one. So do you have any policy in place to ensure that your battery material comes from a clean production? As well, I know for a fact that many Thai companies also digging coal from Indonesia. So can you ensure that your electricity comes from a clean source? I'm afraid it's really one of the biggest polluter in Indonesia now. Thank you.
Okay, well, that is something I didn't think about, but right now we don't have the regulation, really the source of these materials. But I'm sure when, let's say now we have a couple of companies that do this giga factory in Thailand, Energy Absolute and PTT. I think at some point they will look at, the carbon footprint, the environmental concerns from their suppliers. But right now, we don't have the regulation go back to the very original source of the materials.
Maybe just one thing to address before I forget. We also have our future tonight. We also have many students. Can we have a loud applause for our students? And because you receive our applause, then I expect some question from you.
No pressure. Students from where?
From where?
Engineering or?
Again, please. I'm from Chulalongkorn University. I'm second year student.
We have another group of students here. Where are you from?
I'm from Chulalongkorn University as well. I'm a master student, and I have a questions about the solar energies. Because solar energy, we need a lot of cell to create energy, but about the solar cell, we cannot use it for a long time, right? That's why, have you concern about e-waste in the future, or do you already have the regulation of this problem?
Okay, the waste, not only solar, but actually just about every power plant, also, at one time it will become waste. And the Department of Industrial Works and also the Department of Pollution Control also have the regulation on this waste, okay, how to get rid of this solar in the right way. So there is a regulation on this, not even solar, but all kind of factories, including batteries waste.
Last question.
There's a lady in the orange.
Okay, I've just got a question about going to renewables. A lot of discussion and very heavily weighted towards solar power. What is the plan for energy storage, given that when the solar power goes off, all the lights will go off as well?
Right. Well, the first and the biggest energy storage that we have is the Gulf of Thailand. So, like it or not, the gas power plant would take care of the swings, of the power supply. And of course, we would need more batteries, energy storage to maintain this grid stability. And right now, looking at the technologies, the price of the battery storage, the lithium ion would be the first choice. We already have some pilot projects about one is 16 megawatt hour, another one is 20 megawatt hour. So that area have a lot of wind and solar power come to that substation. So battery energy storage would be in this power development plan. I don't have the figures how big, but it's going to be a lot. Another one that could be used as storage is the pump storage. Some of the hydro dam, we do some survey where we could store the water when we have excess energy and then release it when we need it. But of course, that have a lot of limitations. So I would say, first we look at our Gulf of Thailand as the energy storage, and then batteries, and then we have a little bit of this a water pump storage, in the dam.
Gulf of Thailand is just about green hydrogen and blue hydrogen.
Yes, no, that is something that coming along. Actually, I just back from Saudi Arabia yesterday. We were talking about this corporation. Actually, this is in the news. The PTT and one of the biggest company in Saudi Arabia is conducting the feasibility study for having this large clean hydrogen plant in Thailand using renewables from hydro and also the solar floating from EGAT. So that is something in a long term. We're still looking at the cost of making the hydrogen, and that is still a big issue. Right now we come along about $6 to $7 per kilogram of hydrogen, and that's not a very competitive price. So we have to try to lower down that cost. Okay, but this is something in the pipeline that we're looking at. So cost is the concern. So if the cost come down, let's say to $3, that would make a lot more sense.
Hey, I have one more question. My name is Wise. I work in oil and gas industry about 10 years before, but right now I'm moving to real estate industry. I would like to know about some relate to real estate industry. What do you think when will you start about the BEC project, the building? When?
Well, it actually started now.
Right now,
it already started.
Right?
So the new building now,
yeah.
If you not yet have the permission to build, right now you have to pass the court. Okay. So when you decide, you have to submit to the local authority. Now they're gonna look at the certification that you already have passed the court.
All right, and
so it's a building that larger than 2,000 square meter.
2,000.
To comply with the law.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, this probably would have to be the last one.
Dr. Prasert, thank you very much for your talk. My name is Kruwan from PTTEP. Actually, my first question would be related to geothermal, and our colleagues already asked you, because I was wondering the potential of geothermal in Chiang Mai and also Ranong, but you already answered that question. But as everybody knows that the source of gases for central Thailand, especially Bangkok, is coming from the Gulf of Thailand. For your office in the future, and perhaps toward the 2050, what type of renewable energy that would substitute or taking some load of that gas from the Gulf of Thailand, and what type would it be, and what percentage would that be?
Well, mostly it will come from solar, because everything else we have limited potential. Like biomass, we have some certain area that we can grow the energy crops. Even we talk about 10 million lives in Thailand, but still that only translates to a few thousand megawatt. But we would need something like 100 megawatt for the demand and also for replacing the gas-fired power generation. So we would need a lot of solar. We have plenty. Of course, it's limited because we only have like 500,000 square kilometer. But we have like 1 million megawatt of potential for solar. So solar have more or less unlimited capacity, but everything else, even wind, from our study, we have about 10,000 megawatt. For hydro, very little to add. We already have like 3,000 megawatt now, but it's very small, like another 100 or 200 megawatt more for small hydros. Biogas is also very limited. So solar would be a huge potential to replace, to be consumed, instead of using natural gas. In what percentage, I'm not sure. And it depends on how you count it. If you count it in megawatt, it's going to be a lot. Okay. All right. So
thank you very much. Again, may I have big round of applause for Dr. Prasert.
And thank you very much also for having me. It's been an honor.
May I have Kun Ronald, our SPE Thailand president, to present you our token of appreciation. Thank you very much ครับขอบคุณครับ Okay, let's continue with our closing remark. So next meeting will be on 16th of March. Now we're back to oil and gas a little bit. After we take a long drive our industry. So the topic will be on non-intrusive well and reservoir surveillance solution using chemical tracer for improved reservoir management from Edmund Luang from Redmond. So stay tuned. And also SPE Award. If you haven't submitted anybody, we still have some more time. Already closed out for the international award nomination, but still open for the regional award. So if you have anyone in mind or any person that you think deserve this regional award, then you can go to the website spe.org/en/award. Just need to input his name, profile, and also add the project or any paper submission that he or she has done in the past. Then they will be open for consideration. Okay, this is very huge event in Bangkok, Thailand. Starting in very soon, in next 2 weeks, is the IPTC, International Petroleum Technology Conference, from 1st to 10th of March. All submission already closed, but of course, registration now open. So register today to secure your seat. And if you are SPE member, you will have a huge discount for joining this program. So if you haven't done so, please apply for the membership. There are also several events for the SPE in Asia Pacific. You can check out spe.org/Asia Pacific for upcoming event. And for our neighbor, SPWLA, we have another board member here. And also we have another speaker here as well, I believe. Can you raise your hand? Bayuda also here. So we have two topics in our meeting. We have effects of climate on oil recovery mechanism in low salinity, water flooding in shale sandstone formation. Okay, but and also simulation of application of non-particle with surfactant for enhanced oil recovery. Even the topic, to understand the topic is very challenging for me. So if you want to understand a little bit more, you should join. The hearing will be at the Jasmine City Hotel, Sakura Room on 23rd of February, next week. And also you can, if you want to keep up to date with our upcoming event, you can check out our Facebook page, LinkedIn group, Line official. I'm not gonna mention website anymore. So, so just look at these three below, right? And you can, in Line official, you can register to join the event as well. So pretty convenient, right? And lucky draw, right? This is the moment what we have tonight. Panpuri is not kind of food right now. Panpuri,อะไรเนี่ย not Panpuri, not Panpuri,อะไร Aroma bag to give you a good sense of smell at night and daytime from Panpuri. So may I have Dr. Prasert to have an honor to draw, to have our Dr. draw, please.
How many?
Only two. So of course, if the person is not here, we would have to redraw again.
Why didn't we make that?
Okay, I can read out for you,ครับ. All right, we have the Spanish name here. Mr. Gabriel Rosa, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Is it he or she? Gabriel, it should be here. Congratulations. You have to come up front, otherwise you lose your chance. So all the way from Spain, I believe. Congratulations. All right, thank you very much. Next one.
Begin with E. I think it's a man name. Eric Munson. K from Kenya. Not here. 1, 2, 3. From PTTEP. How many from PTTEP? Where we
ชันวิทย์คุณชันวิทย์ Congratulations ครับ Congratulations ครับผม All right. It seems that we always give lucky draw to the newcomer for some reason, not on purpose. Next time, maybe. All right, so I believe we have served you something. If you think you still need to continue your journey, you can go down to Renewable Bar on the ground level. Then, of course, the passcode is SPE. Then you will get the 2-for-1 promotion from the hotel. And last, and of course not least, is can you give another round of applause for our general sponsor to have our evening for tonight? Thank you very much, ครับ That will be all for tonight. สวัสดีครับ